You are not for everyone, and good riddance. So it's time to start talking to the people that you're here to activate, awaken, and transform from simply being embodied in your truest self. Hello, if we haven't met before, I'm Sana, embodiment mentor and co-founder of Growth Club, which is a membership community for conscious leaders. We have a global membership and we also have an in-person membership here in LA. So if you are a conscious leader looking for community, check it out. It's amazing. But today I want to talk about what does it truly mean to be an embodied leader, and what does it require from us in order to become embodied in our leadership. First things first, you don't need the title of a leader like a CEO or a founder or an entrepreneur or whatever in order to be a leader. A leader is simply somebody who is self-reflective and takes accountability for your own place in this world. So it's how you show up, it's how you hold space for others, it's how you operate, and it's your innate way of being. So if you're somebody who has been doing personal development for a long time, or is somebody that is devoted to spiritual growth, or somebody that is simply in therapy and really checking your patterns and questioning why you are the way you are, you're learning, you're unlearning, and everything in between, then you are a leader. You're self-leading. You are leading your own inner child and your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions and your entire way of being into sovereignty. That's an impeccable thing. Like, that is huge. So many people out in the world right now are operating on autopilot and they are unconscious. They're not awake. They're not aware. They're not checking their patterns. They're not sitting in curiosity of why they are the way they are, and who are they when they're not performing, and who are they when they're not trying to achieve or gain something from the world or from others. The fact that you're somebody who simply wants to know who you are and your role and place on this planet at this time in humanity means that you are here to lead. And whether you feel ready to lead others or not, this is about becoming embodied in the role of leadership, which simply means that you're somebody that is intentional about not projecting from your conditioning, but actually expressing from your authenticity. So when you are somebody that is embodied in your leadership, you are going to trigger some people and you're going to inspire others. So I really want to invite you into feeling comfortable when you get that ick in your system when you disappoint others. Because if you are somebody that's an empath or a healer or somebody with a really beautiful, good heart, hurting others is something that you kind of have to overcome it. If me being fully myself upsets or disappoints others, then so be it. I will not abandon myself to be liked or convenient or comfortable in somebody else's projections of their own limitations. So the only thing that you're doing when you're triggering others, when you are fully embodied in your own self, is you're simply activating the part in them that wishes or longs to be as free as you are. And then instead of looking in the mirror and being aware of that within them, they project hate, fear, anger, etc. onto you. It's so important to be in deep integrity and to have discernment around, okay, is this person somebody who is telling me what they're saying from the goodness of their heart and for my greatest good? Or is it a projection that they are trying to impose on me because they don't want to look in the mirror? So getting radically honest, intuitively feeling into, what am I doing? Is this hurting others? And is this in alignment with my true self? Or am I doing this from a place of ego and wanting fame or attention or monetary gains without being fully rooted and grounded in your own truth? The number one thing that helps me with this processing of discernment of like when other people are telling me, hey, like what you're doing and saying is weird or messed up or wrong, then I don't react. I take a moment to pause and do a quick analysis and check with my mind, body, soul. And I ask myself, okay, this person is saying that what I just posted is wrong. Why? what about this could be wrong? And I do an analysis of what I posted. Check with myself, does this hurt anybody? No. Does this empower people to be more fully expressed in their truth? Yes. Does this maybe activate something in others that they're not ready to look at? Most likely. So instead of me listening to what other people are saying and feeling bad about it, what was my old way of being was, oh my gosh, this person must be right, I must be wrong, because I lacked self-trust. So now that I'm in a place of really checking in with myself and being real and being accountable, and honestly, there are moments where like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have posted something that was TMI or really like not holding myself accountable and kind of blaming others. So I take accountability and responsibility for that too. It's not all just people projecting. So if they're triggered, yes, maybe you could be in the wrong. So that's what it means to be embodied in leadership, is like, that's what discernment is. Understanding, is this in alignment with my highest good and the highest good for all? Am I operating from love or am I operating from fear? Am I operating from trust or am I operating from trying to get or receive something external? So during that analysis that I do, I like to call it emotional alchemy, because when I upset somebody else, my immediate reaction is, oh my gosh, I have to fix this. So instead of me fixing the problem, I take that sacred pause, and that's when I do my emotional alchemy of going through my entire body, through my chakra system, and really aligning my truth to myself. It takes some time at first, but once you do this over and over and over again, it gets faster and faster. Before, I needed 3 days to process things in that sacred pause, and now I can do it within 5 minutes. This isn't to say that you have to do the inner work for the rest of your life and it's draining and it's exhausting. Well, no, because you learn the tools and systems that work for you, and then you're able to really master it in yourself, knowing what works and knowing what doesn't, and then sticking to what works until it no longer works, and then trying something different. So to me, what emotional alchemy is not bypassing fear and anger and rage and guilt and shame. It is becoming aware that, okay, not running from the truth being, I feel shameful when I make a mistake. So now, instead of saying, oh, but it's fine, get over it, blah, 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 because that's not actually going to transmute and alchemize that shame into power. It's just going to suppress it into your body and allow that shame to just fester and sit, really store negative energy in your body. And eventually, like if you suppress enough shame, guilt, fear, anger, rage, etc., and not feel it, that is going to cause inflammation in your body. And inflammation and stress are the #1 causes of chronic illnesses and mental illnesses and autoimmune diseases. If you're just constantly suppressing and not feeling, you're going to have health issues. If you are somebody that is having a lot of health issues, this isn't to shame you. It is to invite you into deep curiosity of, okay, if all of these things keep happening, what am I ignoring? Things keep activating symptoms in me that is making me need to go to the doctor, or making me need to rest more, or making me need to pull back and not do the things that I came here to do. Then it's time to really look in the mirror and ask yourself, where am I suppressing anger, shame, guilt, fear, rage? Once you sit in that curiosity of, okay, what am I suppressing? I love to journal. I think journaling is my quickest way to access my subconscious programming, because I allow myself to just free write and flow without thinking, and I let my body speak. So if you're interested in having an accountability partner or journaling every day as a sacred practice, I am opening up a new offering that is going to allow us to meet every morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're just gonna hop on Zoom. We're going to do a quick little check-in. Hello, hi, how are you? What's alive and active in you right now? And then I'm intuitively going to create that space for you to just free write. And then we can process process afterwards if you have time, or you can just exit and leave and go back to your day. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Write journal in the comments if you're interested in that offering. But journaling has truly saved my life. It has completely transformed my relationship with myself, with my mind, with my emotions, with my mental chaos, to be honest. And it has allowed me to really understand why I feel the things I do, not just to hold space with the emotion to express itself, which, by the way, takes only 90 seconds scientifically for the emotion to be fully felt. But what lingers afterwards is the story that we attach to that emotion, and it's that narrative. We think it's a feeling that we want to suppress, when in reality, it's a story that we need to sit and be in deep curiosity with and in reverence with, to listen to it. And then you connect the dots with, where did this story originate from? It's always connected to your childhood, because that's when our operating system got programmed. And then what I do is I set boundaries with my mind, that inner critic that is making me feel bad over the shame, guilt, fear, rage, etc., telling me to bypass it. And I say, no, I'm going to sit here and feel it. You're breaking that pattern and you're shifting the energy. And then when you sit in that 90 seconds to feel that emotion in your body, then the story comes out. And then you go into the journal to write down, what is the narrative here? Instead of judging what you write in the journal, instead of trying to be perfect and performative about it, let your body write. And when you read it back, look at it. And instead of trying to rewrite it immediately, be present with it so that it can land in your system. Like, oh wow, this is brand new information that has been suppressed in your body for eons, generations, because it's not just yours. It is deeply ingrained in our DNA from our ancestors, etc., etc. So be present with it and hold it with love. And then when you're ready, rewrite it. So what I like to do is spend 10 minutes writing the story attached to the negative emotions. And then I sit with it, I feel it, I send it love, and then I rewrite the story. So I'm currently navigating through my money trauma, my money wounds, and my money story. So yesterday I decided to check my bank account and really take a look at everything that I have going on financially. I'm gonna be so honest here. I realized that I am spending more than I am bringing in at the moment. And it triggered this old wound that I had from a couple years ago when I was 20K in debt, and I needed to ask my husband to help me out with that. That really put like a damper in our relationship, not from his point of view, but just from me. And it activated that fear that I need to depend on somebody financially. And then I sat with that and I was like, okay, where is this story coming from? First, I felt the shame yesterday and I was like, shoot, I don't want to go back there. And old me would have spiraled of like trying to come up with an offer and put it out and try to make money immediately and get into that cycle of operating from fear. But instead, I allowed myself to go to sleep and wake up and feel into it again this morning and really sit and journal. And what I saw that I wrote was, I want to respect his hard-earned money and I want my hard-earned money to be mine. That phrase really stood out to me, hard-earned money. And I realized that that's actually my core belief system, that money is hard-earned. Doing all of this work that I'm doing with my inner self, I know intellectually that money comes with ease. It is an energy. And the more I cleanse my aura and more I step into alignment with my authentic self, the money is going to come in. It is not some goal that I'm trying to get or achieve. It is the byproduct of me being fully embodied in my leadership. So that was a really interesting moment for me this morning with my journal. And I realized that I need to rewire the story that money is hard earned. So I was like, okay, how can I do that? And what I did was I wrote down all the ways that I have proof in my life already that money comes easily. So with Growth Club, the company that I'm building with my beautiful co-founder Carly, she and I have been really realizing that every time that me and her expand internally, more members are coming into our containers. The more we are navigating our differences and holding space for our differences, the more we're able to expand and attract a wide range of members. And that's the whole point for Growth Club. It's not about bringing together like-minded people. It really is a gathering space for all walks of life to come together to share our wisdom, because I'm in a phase and season in my life where I don't want more self-help. I want group wisdom. So that's what we're really calling in with Growth Club. And I'm really building it from a place of deep embodied leadership and conscious, intentional, intuitive guidance. So I have literal proof in my life already that money is energy, and the more we do our energetic alignment work, the more money flows into our containers. So now that I have that proof of concept from my business, I'm trying to cultivate that more so again in my personal life with my coaching containers, which are flowing in. I have locked in 3 beautiful new clients and the money is flowing. I just have this liminal space now where I need to align external aligning with the internal. And right before that alignment happens, all of the fear starts to arise because it's coming up for that final purge. We just had that full moon in Scorpio, so I know I'm not alone in feeling this. I know a lot of people are feeling that real final purge of all of the ways that the old programming is still operating inside of us so that we can alchemize it one final time. So this isn't about punishment. You're not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong by writing hard-earned money, but I am responsible for refining and tweaking my belief systems like a diamond being chiseled piece by piece, core by core. I am ready to rewrite my story that money is hard-earned, and I have proof that it's not hard-earned. It's actually all about energetic alignment. That is what I'm calling in. That's what I'm hoping to step into in this new season of my life. And again, new season, like new hair, I'm feeling fresh, I'm feeling new. And I really just want to talk about that. This is me right before the big transformation. I'm feeling like I have a really big transformation coming, and I am in deep reverence and just presence with what's alive in me that wants to be rewritten. And that's what emotional alchemy means to me. That's what living in alignment means to me. That's what energetic alignment is. And if you are somebody that is on the brink of really shifting your money story, or your story about love, or your story about freedom, and your stories about anything that is no longer yours, I hope that you don't just try to rush and bypass through it in order to get to the other side, but go through this process of deep emotional alchemy so you could really transmute the negative charges into the positive. And like, if you just have positive emotions without the negative charge, you're actually missing out on a great source of power that is available to you when you sit and transmute and alchemize the darkness into light. So many people, especially in a place like Los Angeles, are so terrified of feeling into that fear, feeling into the shame, feeling into the guilt, feeling into the grief, because they think their thoughts create their reality. So they think that if they start thinking about their negative thoughts and feelings, they're going to call more of that in, when in reality, if you do it with intention and if you do it with devotion to truly transmute and alchemize that into wisdom and power, then there's no way in hell or heaven that you're going to be stuck in that negative space. So really pay attention to how you're sitting with that negative emotions. Are you just in talk therapy talking about it forever? Or are you bringing it up and then running away from it before you have the opportunity to feel it? Or are you feeling it but then not working on rewriting the story? So to recap the process of emotional alchemy so that you could become an embodied leader is wait for the external to trigger something alive in you. For me, it was looking at my bank accounts and seeing that I am spending a little bit more than I am making right now. That was the trigger that activated me yesterday. Then I sat with that shame and I let the shame sit there and be. And then this morning I got curious about the shame with my journal. I allowed myself to just free write And the shame wrote to me that it's scared that what happened in the past is going to happen again, that I'm going to need to depend on my husband to save me. And I don't want that, because I want his money to be his money, and I want my money to be my money, and I want to be completely self-reliant financially, so that when he does spend his money on me, it's from the goodness of his heart and from a place of joy, not from a place of obligation, and vice versa. I want to spend money on him. I recently just bought him a $1,600 Terra Cafe coffee machine for our anniversary, and I want to be able to do things like that for him. So even though I'm going into a little bit of debt to do that, I need to not sit in the response of, okay, let me go out and make a lot of money so that I can be safe. But instead, how can I get more energetically aligned so that more money can pour into my life? So the steps here are: allow the world to activate the emotion in you. Sit with 90 seconds with that emotion. Take out your journal and free write what that emotion wants to tell you, the story behind the emotion, and then read it back to yourself. And when you're ready, rewrite that story. So instead of me sitting there saying that my money story comes from my relationship with my dad, where my dad always made us have to prove that we were worthy of money, and then he would give it to us. So hard-earned money is a story from my immigrant parents. So how can I rewrite that story? And how can I break that generational curse? And how can I lead into this new way of being where energy alignment is what calls in more money? So I hope that was helpful for you guys. I just want to remind you that don't fear the shadow work, don't fear the inner work, don't fear the alchemy that is available for you, because that is where the juice is. That is where the magic is. That is where the power is, because the power to change your narrative is in your hands if you simply stop running and avoiding and neglecting, and sit in deep presence with love and grace and compassion with your stories that are running your operating system. If this was helpful, please hit like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Or if you want to be on our newsletters that goes out every Monday for Growth Club, where we drop gems for sovereign leadership, embodied leadership, and conscious love, then sign up for our newsletter below as well. I will see you guys next time.